Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm going to be showing you how I make these glittered stemless wine glasses. Let's dive into the material list. I will be using scissors, an acrylic paint brush, a foam brush, your choice of extra fine glitter. This is just one of the Martha Stewart brands, electrical tape, a plastic cup, a paper plate, dishwasher safe Mod Podge. This is a 2-part clear coating and casting resin. This is the blue box and it's FDA approved. I'm using 2 DVDs and a dry erase marker, piece of paper, and of course your wine glass. So let's get started. My first step is to draw the line. Now some people use water. I do not like using water because one, it moves, and I can't just pick up the glass and maneuver it. So I'm going to be stacking 2 DVD cases on top of each other, taping down a dry erase marker. Put the glass on your marker and just twirl the glass to make a nice even line. Okay, perfect. So I am done with that. So as you can see, I have a nice straight line. I'm now going to take my electrical tape. Now I use electrical tape because it is stretchy, unlike the painter's tape. So I'm going to take it off. Again, I wouldn't be able to do this with water. I tilt my glass down and then I just lay it on the very top of the edge. And then I keep on going all the way around the glass. When you come to the end, make sure you line it up as best as you can with the other tape so you don't get a rigid line. And I just keep on going until they're aligned. Use my scissors, cut it off, and there we have it. The next step I do then is to take away the dry erase marker. All you have to do is just rub it. I take this opportunity to also press down the electrical tape so it's nice and secure there on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to take my paper plate. You obviously do not have to do the paper plate method, but I just like to do that. I'm going to use the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Now this takes about 28 days to cure, and the dry time in between is about 1 to 2 hours. So keep that in mind if you are going to be using this. I just put a little bit on my plate. You don't need a lot. I'm going to be using my acrylic brush. This is just kind of what they recommend on the back of the Mod Podge container. They say use a soft bristle brush, so that's what I'm going to be using. We have our electrical tape, so you don't have to worry about it getting any higher. Dip it in my brush, and then I just start to paint the glass on the edges and the bottom. Near the end, I just like to go around it a couple times just to make sure there are not any huge streaks. If there are huge streaks, the glitter will clump there and it will be noticeable, which I definitely do not want. I'm doing 2 coats as well, so I'm not too worried about it filling up all of the space on the first time around. Okay, so I have that. I'm going to grab my paper quickly. This stuff dries quickly. And to get my glitter, I'm using a blue. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to just glitter everywhere. This is my favorite part. And you're going to keep on turning the glass and glitter all of the sides and the bottom. Okay, so whenever you are finished, you're just going to tap off the glitter. And then I wait just about a minute or so, and then I will peel off the tape. And then there you have a beautiful straight glitter line. Now obviously you can tell that you can see through it right now, so I'm going to be doing a second coat, but I need to wait about an hour to 2 hours to do that. Okay, so once your first layer dries, I put it over, tap some extra glitter off, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing. This time a little bit more carefully since I don't have any tape there, but it's still very easy. So I have my brush already and the Mod Podge on the plate, so I'm just going to I usually dab it a little bit, and then I put the brush as closest to the edge as I can. And then I go down. If I get any on it, I just wipe it off. Like I said, this Mod Podge stuff, even the next day, you can scratch it off pretty easily. So I'm just going to finish that up and do my last coat of glitter. Whenever that is done, I let it dry. And then I do one more coat of Mod Podge, but I don't put any glitter over it. And then I do my final coat, which is the resin. So I'll see you when I'm ready for that. Okay, so for time purposes, at least for me, not for you, I already have a couple glasses I need to put the resin over anyway, so I'm going to show you with this pink glass what I do. Now some of you are wondering why I do all of those coats of Mod Podge and then I put something else over it. There's a couple reasons. One, I just like the satisfaction of making sure it is very, very sealed. I sell most of these, so I don't want any poor customer experiences. Secondly, I like the finish of them a little better. The purple one is already sealed. It will keep its sheen over time, where the Mod Podge one, I find it loses that sheen over time through washes. Also, the texture is a little different, so just with the Mod Podge finish, now it's great. The glitter doesn't come off at all. However, it's bumpy and rough. This one, just with a very thin coat of the resin, it's a little bit more smooth. It's still bumpy, but it's definitely more smooth, and you can tell a difference between the two. Now, if you wanted for it to be completely smooth, you would do many, many very thin coats of this resin. However, that will take a very long time, since you should wait about 24 to 48 hours for it to cure. Anyways, let's begin. So we are going to knock out our electrical tape again, and I'm going to put the tape along the very top. Now I know this seems like a kind of a silly step, however, compared to the Mod Podge, this is much more difficult to come off. So I'm just going to go along the edges of where I want it to be, and you already sealed it with the Mod Podge, so don't be too upset if you put a little bit over some of your glitter parts, because they should already be sealed. Okay, so I have my tape around it again. Again, if you want to try it without the tape, you're more than welcome. I just like that barrier there, and also to dry it, I'm going to be turning it upside down, so if any drips get on anything, it won't be on your glass, which will be more difficult to get off. Alright, so with this stuff, you measure equal amounts. So I'm just going to do a little bit of, like I said, you don't need to have a lot. I'm going to go to maybe 2.5 milliliters. It's actually the very, very bottom line. Now it's very important that these are equal. Very, very equal. It's kind of like a gel, so I'm going to keep that in there because I think that's definitely enough. I have another one here I need to do anyway, so if I get two done, I'm not going to complain. Let's see what that is. That is 2.5, a little bit above. Okay, so now I'm going to go to 5, because 2.5 and 2.5 is 5. Okay, so now the next step then is to mix very, very well. You want to mix it so there are no more white streaks in it. Okay, so now I'm ready to brush it on to my glass. Take my foam brush. I use a foam brush because one time I used an acrylic brush and it's impossible to get off. So these are cheap and I use these because I can throw them away. So I'm going to start at the top of the glass again and just stroke it on. Okay, so I finished with that and now I'm just going to leave it upside down for about 2 minutes to make sure that none of it's dripping because it's going to continue to stay upside down until it's completely cured. So once I know it's not going to drip on the glass, then I will take the tape off. Okay, so I don't see any drips coming down anymore. It's not very fast at all. So I'm going to take off the tape. And sometimes wherever the tape met, it gets a little wet. So I will wipe that off whenever I'm finished taking this tape off. Okay, I just knew there was a little spot, so I would suggest a paper towel because it gets your fingers very sticky. I'm just going to use my finger for now. And there you go. So you just leave this, let it cure for about 48 hours, and it is good to go. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'll be making more videos, so don't forget to like and subscribe.